Welcome back, friends and family. This is Moth in the Flames. This summer, I was sitting around a backyard fire with my family, and I marveled as moths dove into the flames. I've seen moths and other insects swarming street lamps. I knew moths seemed to be attracted to light. I might have even noticed them hovering around a fire before. There is the old idiom about a moth to a flame, but for whatever reason, this last summer might have been the first time I really took stock in the way some moths just dove into the fire. It seemed like such a silly demise. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized we humans do the same thing. According to a National Geographic article I read, moths navigate by way of transverse orientation. As far as I understand it, moths use the moon as a reference to steer themselves through the night sky. That was probably a pretty good method for nocturnal travel until we came along, harnessed fire, and populated Earth with artificial light. Because moths are tuned into the faint light of the moon, fire and electric light become intoxicating. Moths are so drawn to the powerful light they destroy themselves. They hover around artificial light exposed to predators. They fly too close to the open flame and burn up. We humans are much the same. We're tempted and we dive into ruinous situations. We become infatuated, we become dependent, and we lose control. Our enchanting flames take many forms too. We get addicted to food or drugs or technology or sex. Sometimes it's unhealthy relationships or risk-seeking behaviors. Maybe it's money or power or fame. Whatever forms our flames take, we're subconsciously drawn to them. We're no better than the moth in this regard. And unlike the moth, we have the higher order reasoning to recognize the potential consequences of our actions. It's a powerless sensation to feel the heat and still be drawn to the fire. But that's how it is. Sometimes we even find ourselves leaning into the pain. We tell ourselves we deserve the hardship. We believe we don't have the strength to overcome temptation, but we do. We can pull ourselves out of the flames and set a new course. The trick is reestablishing our own form of transverse navigation. Each of us has to find our own moon in our personal sky. We have to find that celestial body by which we can navigate the hits and hardships of life. That's not easy. We might need help. It takes time and effort, but in the end, it's about seeking purpose. It's about establishing meaning in our lives. That's what allows us to push past the warming glow of temptation and addiction and fleeting desire. That's the way out of the fire. And that's Moth in the Flames. And that really was something I just noticed one night by the fire. These moths that were going in and were burning up. And my initial reaction was, well, that is so silly, even for an insect, that this is clearly painful as you're going in. You can feel the heat, but they're still just so attracted to it. And then I think of all the things we lose ourselves to in our human lives that we're just so inherently drawn to, that we're so addicted to, that give us so much immediate pleasure or gratification, even when those things can lead to ruinous ends. And we're drawn to those things. And we can feel powerless against them sometimes. And getting past those temptations, getting past those things that really get in the way of what we ultimately want, they get in the way of what's really good for us, we have to find a new way to navigate. We have to set up our sense of purpose. We have to plot our course so that we can navigate past those hardships and through those challenges. And pull ourselves out of the flames. Because we have a power that the moth doesn't have. We have that ability to reason, and we have that ability to, in a short amount of time, adapt and change. The moth as a species hasn't fully adapted to all of the artificial light that we've created as a human species. But individually, we have the ability to adapt immediately, to change our course and pull ourselves out of those negative situations, to pull ourselves up out of the flames. So, set your compass. Set that celestial body by which you wish to navigate. And have a great one. Much love.